KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsak, the king of credit swing. And together, we're
the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack.
And welcome to our inaugural show. Real Estate Rat Pack in the house, as we say. You know, for all those listening, we appreciate you tuning in this morning. It's a great day. It's going to be an even greater show. You know, to get to know a little bit about who the Real Estate Rat Pack is, the first thing I want to do is introduce the godfather of real estate. Rob Cook, how you doing?
I'm doing great this morning. I'm very excited about our new show, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of background on me. You know, I've been in the business 32 years. I've been a home builder. I've been a developer. I've owned a small independent company for 20 years. And, of course, now I'm with Prudential Anderson Properties, and I wear a lot of hats for them. I teach. I go out and recruit talent, find companies to buy and roll in, and basically anything that they need me to do. Also, love Harleys, long walks on the beach, and good Cabernet.
Hey, I'm right there with you, by the way.
Yes, ladies, he is single. 32 years, Rob. Good God, you don't look a day over 33.
He started when he could just crawl, by the way.
That's right.
And Joe, how about you?
Let me do my introduction here.
Absolutely.
And I want to introduce Joe Orsak, the king of credit swing.
The king of credit swing, baby. Well, I am Joe Orsak, the king of credit swing, and I am the chief marketing officer for Improve My Credit USA. Bragging moments, of course, the consumer-voted #1 credit repair company in the glorious state, the greatest state in the Union of Texas, for the last 3 years running. That's right.
We're not worthy.
Hey, the only state in the Union legal to fly its flag at the same height as the United States flag, baby.
Let's hear
Now
it.
that's Texas, let me tell you.
Texas proud. Hope nobody here is like born in another state and I'm just demeaning you all right now. So. Actually, I don't care.
I think you ought to introduce Chris now.
Let's introduce Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
Well, thank you very much. For all those who don't know me, I'm Chris Kelso with Willowbend Mortgage. I've been in the business now going on 12 years, and let me tell you, there's one thing I can tell everybody right now. Real estate, as the commercial said, is smoking hot. It's a great time to be in Houston. It's a great time. We're sort of in that perfect storm right now. You know, we've got great rates, we have good inventory, and we have a perfect opportunity for everyone to buy. In fact, with that, I want Rob to introduce his special guest he's got on board today.
Well, I've got to say one thing is that we don't have enough inventory right now. We have about 3.6 months of inventory, which means that we don't get new listings and new product. We're out of business in 3.6 months. So anyway, I am absolutely delighted. Danny Frank's with us today. He has been out of town more than in town. He is currently the chairman of the Houston Association of Realtors, and we are so happy to have you here, Danny, and I thought you might want to take a few moments to tell us about yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me in, guys. Again, my name's Danny Frank. I am the chairman for the Houston Association of Realtors for 2013. I am a working agent. I work every day.
And which company do you work for, Danny?
I work for Prudential Anderson Properties as well, Rob. Thank you for asking. You know, I cover the 518 corridor in the Pearland, Friendswood, Alvin, League City area, all the way down to Galveston, including the Galveston Island area. So I'm a working agent, and guys, we're looking for listings. We don't have enough houses to sell right now, like Rob said, with only 3.6 months of inventory. So, you know, now is the time to sell your house.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is a perfect storm in so many ways, with the interest rates being so low. House prices are still very good. Just need inventory, folks.
We do.
So I'm going to start with asking a question. Today our topic is going to be about the internet and the home buying process. And Danny is Mr. Technology. And when he first came on with HR.com, he gave us so many ideas to implement in our website. So first question I want to ask you, Danny, is what percentage of people start their search on the internet?
About 87% of people actually buying houses and selling houses all across America first go to the internet. So, you know, realtors out there today are working with people that already know what they're looking for. It's not driving around looking at houses anymore. Basically, the people are sitting on their couch, on their iPad, or on their laptop looking for houses, and then they're calling me, the real estate agent, and say, hey, let's go look at a house.
And 80% is amazing, by the way. And if you look at it right there, if you look at where we stand, take 10 years ago, That was
Yeah.
not the case. 10 years ago, I would venture more to say 20% of the people, because of the advent of the internet, were really not utilizing it to the availability of what it has today. And the fact that HAR has some incredible tools out there, like you're doing right now, Danny, to be able to use your iPad to be able to search for a lot of activity going on out there.
You know, that's so true. You know, there's a great application that HAR has. If you have an iPad, there's an app called the HAR app. It's a great tool to find real estate. It locates where you are. It can show you the sold property values. It can show you just about everything you need to know, and you can bookmark your favorite properties there, and it is all about the internet, and that's where HAR.com really comes in and stands above all other real estate companies, associations across the country, because we do such a great job with our consumer-facing website.
No, I absolutely agree. You know, and one of the things I want to point out is whether you're a realtor or you're a consumer, the HAR app is incredible for
That's
both
true.
sides of the transaction. You know, sometimes people think, oh, well, it's only a realtor-based product. No. It is an incredible consumer-based product.
That is so true. You know, it's the application that we have for the iPhone, for the iPad, and for the Android. Sorry, BlackBerry users, we just don't cater to you guys.
We don't care about you.
There's not enough of them out
Deal
there
with it.
anymore. So, you know, there is a mobile-based website. If you still that one person in Houston owns a BlackBerry, you know, you can still access our website from the website. But you know, the web-based products that we have are just phenomenal for the consumer to use every day.
And what a great segue into the next question I have for you is what tools are available for home buyers and sellers?
You know, Rob, we have so many tools out there for the consumer. You know, if you want to live on a golf course, there's a golf course finder. If you want to live in a specific school district, we have a school zone finder. You know, you can type in your address in the school district and school that your son or daughter may go to could show up in that search. And you know, we have all these different ways to look for different properties, whether it's rental properties, investment properties. You know, whatever you're looking for, we have that available to you.
And also, you know, there's a search capability that you can actually search for agents. You might do it by area, but also I think there's about 57 different languages spoken in Houston, Texas.
That's true.
And you can actually search for an agent that speaks your language or understands your culture.
You know, and speaking of that, we have a great international side of our business. If you're looking for real estate outside the Houston market, you know, there's lots of areas all over the country, or all over the world for that matter, that list their properties on HAR.com. So it's a great opportunity for people to look all over the country, all over the world for different real estate to buy.
What kind of internet traffic? This is just jumping in the conversation here, Joe.
Well, it's about time.
Hey, I just woke up. You know, come on.
HAR gets about 1.6 million hits a month. We're the #1 real estate portal in Texas, not just in Houston. If you look at the internet traffic worldwide, you know, and rank all the real estate portals out there, HAR.com is the 20th most visited website in the country. And
Wow.
we're only for Houston, Texas. So, you know, that says a lot about what HAR is. And it is the best place to really look for real estate.
And let me tell the people in Houston, of course the realtors in Houston, we are so spoiled. There is no other HAR.com in the country. And people come here and are just blown away by what we have.
That's
and of
so
course
true.
people that come from here and they move someplace else, like first thing goes, where's our HAR.com?
You know,
I miss it.
I tell you, that's a true story. Let me say this real quick. I had a client that I sold their house here in Houston, and he was moving to Austin, and he got up to Austin, and he called me in a panic. And I said, what's wrong? And he said, man, where's HAR.com up here? I can't find any houses. There, you know, there's no houses up here for sale on a public website. So, Houston, you are unique when it comes to having the most accurate data available to you on a real-time basis.
Well, you know, it's not only the accurate data that we talk about, but it's also the fact, as you mentioned, no other city has this. I have bought and sold real estate on a personal level in different areas, from Atlanta all the way out to California. It's amazing that Houston is the only place you can go to and have a single area to find all the information you need.
Yeah.
Most locations have multiple different, they have pocket listings going on all over the place you can't see. They have multiple listing services that you have to go to. It's really difficult to do real estate in other areas. And so, boy, are we really fortunate.
So what I'm hearing is not only is Texas the greatest state in America, but Houston is the best city in Texas.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm
Without
getting
a
out of
doubt
this entire
right
When
there.
it comes to real
conversation.
estate, that is so true.
And everything else. And of course we have the best Mexican food in the whole state.
Yes.
Danny, there's a lot of people who like to go to sites like Zillow and Trulia.
Yeah.
And why don't you do kind of a quick analysis or comparison of our HAR.com versus those other third-party aggregators.
Well, let's look at Zillow, for instance. Zillow, I'll say 95% of their data they get from HAR. So why wouldn't you go to the source to look for the property? You know, there's some great tools and great things on Zillow. I'm not knocking the site. It's a great site, but it's not always the most accurate information out there. For instance, we have approximately 60,000 homes, single-family homes for sale on HAR.com, and if you go to Zillow and pull up their total Houston volume, they're at 200 and something thousand. So what the difference really is there's a lot of duplications, a lot of things that have sold that aren't active anymore, that have been rented already, or just aren't available anymore.
You want to make a comment on the Zestimate?
Yeah, you know, people ask me all the time, well, the Zestimate on Zillow says, you know, it's worth X amount of dollars, and in Texas, we're a non-disclosure state. So what that means is that we cannot disclose the price publicly. The consumer can. They can do whatever they want, but Texas doesn't allow us to disclose the property value of something that's sold. So when Zillow gives you a Zestimate, it's strictly based off a couple different things, most notably the tax value. And we all know in Texas, the tax evaluation of your house from the tax man really has no bearing or value of what your house is actually worth.
Absolutely not. The Zillow sites and the Trulia sites, and they also often give a different picture, because oftentimes you'll see an agent's picture next to a listing, and that listing belongs to somebody else. So
yeah, that's true. You know, it's important to know that in the state of Texas, there's two different types of realtors that you want to work with. There's one that is a listing agent if you're trying to sell your house, and there's another one called a buyer's agent. And in the state of Texas, I'll say 99 times out of 100, the seller pays all the commission for the buyer's agent. So, you know, I'm going to tell everybody out there today, hire a real estate agent to represent you, because it's like going to the car dealership and talking to the car salesman, and you have no one there to represent you. The car salesman's job is to get the most amount of money for that house he possibly can. And if you hire me as a realtor or hire another realtor, my job is to get the lowest price on that house for you.
And I also might add, as far as getting value for your home, a realtor is probably the best resource to get an accurate analysis of what a house will sell for. We don't do appraisals, but we do get market value.
That's true. You know, we don't do the appraisal side of the things, but we do the what we call a CMA, a market analysis on the house, to really see what the value of the house is. So, you know, we can get really close, but it's not an appraisal. And, you know, we use a lot of the same information the appraisers do use, so we can get really, really close. And somebody who does this on a regular basis can really tell you what the value of the house is.
You know, and you mentioned right there, you know, one of the things on the appraisal side of things, an appraiser a lot of times is using the HAR data to get a lot of that information. Now, a lot of the confusion out there is, oh, well, you know, I can get a comparable on HAR or whatever it might be and be able to get an approximate appraised value, and that's true. You can look at it, but also the appraisers take into consideration a lot of other features that sometimes we can't see.
That's
you
right.
know, the age of the home, the quality of the upgrades inside the home, the lot sizes, a lot of different aspects that are usually put upon on top of that right there. So, you know, very interesting stuff.
That's true. You know, in Houston, we're kind of a unique thing. We've never really had the bubble here. So we never really had a price downturn. There's been some stagnation of prices, but you know, this last month, our median price went up. It was like 9.6% over this time last year. You know, we're $162,000 roughly for a median sales price, and $220,000 for the average. So, man, prices are screaming right now. And if you got a house to sell, now is the time to sell it.
Now is the time to do it. But you know, we're going to come up against a break right now. For all those listening, remember, you can call into the show, 800-808-5548. We're going to take a break right now, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The room was completely black. I hugged her and she hugged back, like the sailor said.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show. You know, one of the things we forgot to do in the very first segment, I want to do a really celebration right now, is there's an individual in this market, in this industry, who recently left us, and he believed in technology and the application of the internet in regards to buying and selling real estate. And that individual was a good friend of mine, a great mentor, and a great individual in general. His name is Neil Reed with Realm Real Estate Professionals. And one of the things we talked about a bit earlier is really giving a great memoriam of him on this show, really dedicating the show to his memory at this point. And Rob, I know you were there with me. Great individual.
Yeah, he was an awesome man. Always quick with a smile. I don't think I've ever seen him frown. So he had great energy, and just always enjoyed being with him.
And, and I really want to take advantage of taking this show. This is a celebration of his life. It's a celebration of a great opportunity. It's a great fun time to be here. And let me tell you, if Neil was in this room right now, boy, he'd be talking up a storm, and he'd love all the subject matter we're going over. And, and the next guest right now we have, and Joe, I'll have you introduce our guest coming up. Again, our theme today is how the internet is impacting buying and selling of real estate. And, one of the things that we're doing, we brought in some great guests. In fact, we have one of our sponsors right here, right, Joe?
Absolutely. I want to introduce a new friend of mine. Actually, we've known each other for a while, but getting to know this person has been a lot of fun. It's our favorite internet sales manager from Gehan Homes, Bobbie Baker. Bobbie, say hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Bobbie. How you doing?
Great.
Bobbie, first just tell us a little bit about yourself right quick. How did you get to where you are and selling real estate?
I've been in community sales for 7 years, and I recently became online sales consultant for Gehan Homes about 9 months ago, and I'm really loving it.
Very cool.
And, the online side of things, I would imagine, is definitely grown up a lot. As we talked about here in the community side of things, you've got your community sales side of things, but now the internet is really driving forth a lot of activity that's taking place with not only in Gehan Homes, but in the job that you have as well.
Yes. The impact of the increased internet traffic on our business is evident. Just over a year ago, Gehan Homes did not even have an online sales consultant. Now we have one in every division.
Oh, wow.
That's huge growth. That's tremendous growth. And that's kind of what we're seeing. That's why it was part of our launch topic for the day, was that you'd have to be blind not to notice that the internet is having a massive impact on the buying and selling process. So you started out not on the internet side, but on the community side, community sales, right?
Yes.
Okay. So how long were you at that?
For about 6 years.
About 6 years. Okay. So now you've moved over to the internet side, and you're engaging people on that part of it. Before I go too far, let me just ask you, what is your favorite thing? What excites you about getting to do real estate, just to start off with?
Every day I help families in finding a place to call home, and this is one of the biggest investments someone will make in their life. And it's my goal as their first impression online to offer a great home buying experience. And this is my way of making a difference, and I love what I do.
Awesome, awesome.
And you have a great story you were telling Joe and I, obviously in the break, actually prior to the show. Really neat about the way you impacted the story of an individual, of a family, online, and sort of that story. I think that was very real, and it really showed, because I personally believe that the internet is a way of not only finding buyers, but the true impact is what you can do to convert those individuals who come in online, personalize that matter, make it so an individual you can meet, you can touch, you can speak with, and ultimately create that relationship with. And that's something that you did recently on a really neat story.
Yeah, it was a family from Pittsburgh, and he was transferring here to Houston for a job. They had twins, and the wife had family in Pearland. So I was trying to find them a central place to be, to where his commute would be easy to work, and that she would have the support of her families, because she needed help with the twins. And they wanted to build, so I also was able to send them a link to apartment communities nearby so they could watch the progress of their home. And I normally don't get to meet families online, but this one I made a special trip, and it was just a great experience, and I was happy to be a part of it.
And you just got through saying something very important. It was a family that you found online that you wanted to meet personally, that you ended up creating a personal bond with. And I think more too often, I'm a big believer, and I tell everybody this all the time, is that the internet is a great driver of opportunities, right? But it's a terrible builder of relationships if it's not utilized correctly.
It's a conduit for relationship. It's not a replacement.
That is correct. And I would absolutely agree there.
Very cool. Well, the neat thing that I heard in that was that someone from Pittsburgh realized that they weren't living in the greatest state in the United States, and they wanted to get here as quick as possible. That's again what I was hearing. So,
Joe, that's what I heard too. It's amazing.
I heard the same thing, by the way.
Well, hey, I want to point out also, we've got some great expertise in the room here. for you guys. This isn't just about us pontificating about the greatness of Texas or real estate for an hour. We want to give you guys the opportunity to call in and engage us. And we've got some great sponsors here in the room, and we've got some great knowledge in the room with Danny, with HAR. So if you have questions about the buying, selling process of real estate, if you've got questions about how credit works, if you've got a question about real estate or the mortgage process, give us a call. That's what we're here for, is to answer questions.
And what's that phone number, Joe?
What's that phone number? It's 800-800-808-5548. 800-8. I just totally got lost in the 8s. 800-808-5548.
And for all those reading Facebook, remember, it is 800-808-5548.
Hey, I deleted that post.
That's too funny.
Yes, I'm already throwing out the wrong number on day one.
Bobbie,
Absolutely.
Bobbie, I'd like to hear a little bit more about Gehan Homes. How many subdivisions you all currently building in?
I have access to help families. We build in several communities across Houston. We have 16 communities. We build in Tomball, Spring, Katy, Mont Bellevue, League City. We're all over the place.
And tell me your price points.
We begin one in the 150s all the way up into the 400,000s.
And tell me what is unique about Gehan Homes that you like to tell people about that you're really proud of?
I think there are 4 major differences that set us apart: quality, current design, personalization, and a buyer's experience.
I like the personalization aspect of things. You know, one of the things we do have right now, we have Rick. He's calling in to ask a question in regards to the market. Rick, how you doing?
Great. First-time caller, long-time listener.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
I've always wanted to say that.
I was about to say, you know, the great thing is
So
we're
it's not
24.
true?
Yeah, we're 24 minutes into the show, so I guess that is a long-time listener.
Yeah, it's about as accurate as you can get. You were the longest listener we've got. I've been listening since this show began.
Well, Rick, how you doing, buddy? What else can we do for you? What question you want to ask?
Well, my question, probably for Danny, is you said the market's really hot and sales prices were up 9%. How do the appraisers keep up with that so that the buyers can get mortgages? And I'll just hang up and listen.
No problem. Danny, he was saying the market is really hot right now.
Right.
But, you know, how do you keep up with that, basically, especially from an appraisal perspective?
Well, from an appraisal perspective, you know, the appraisers and the realtors work together hand in hand every day. So, you know, we are in the process of doing what the appraiser needs us to do every day by listing the price. And we have a contract with people between a buyer and a seller. That's what they're willing to pay for it. So the appraiser is always trying to get to that number, and he's trying to work with all the parties involved to get there. So it's a very fast-paced process.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, and you know, so it's up to everybody to really kind of come together and make it happen. And you know, right now we're seeing multiple offers on homes, so you know that plays into the hand of the seller and the buyer, because we can show the appraiser, look, this house is wanted. I have 7 or 8 offers for the same house at or above my asking price. So it's a great problem to have right now.
And just as an addition to that statement, we have had situations, especially inside the loop, where somebody will offer $20,000 or $30,000 over already inflated price, and there are some issues about getting appraisals.
Yeah.
Because the market's moving much faster than the historical data, because that's what all appraisals are based on, historical data. You know, what something sold for in the last 6 months within about a mile radius. So.
You know, and from a mortgage side of things, let me tell everybody, this is the one misnomer, right? Is a lot of people are out there looking at where homes are selling at today and thinking they've got an appraised value based upon that. Remember, an appraiser is going to do a couple of items. Number one is they're going to go back 6 months. They're going to find comparables that are like your home in the same area, okay? There's usually a limitation. They can't go 10 miles out. They have to usually stay within a radius that is considered relative to the market in which they're looking at. They're going to take into consideration the age of the home. They're going to take into consideration any upgrades associated with the home, how big the lots are, et cetera, et cetera. So, unfortunately, one of the things that we do see in these multiple bid situations is that sometimes individuals are having to pay more, but they're also having to pay more from a financing perspective as far as out of their pocket, because if you don't make an appraised value, the way a mortgage works is they're going to finance the lesser of the two, sales price versus the appraisal price. That's what your loan to value is calculated off of. So you have to always be very careful, and as Danny said right there, you need to go with a professional who can guide you, you know, either one of you two are great individuals to do so. It guides you through that process and lets you know, hey, it might be a great home, and I understand you want to get it. Here's what could possibly happen if you get in a multiple bidding situation. Here's what can possibly happen if the appraisal doesn't meet that value.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, we're experiencing some of that. I know in areas like Danny's here in Pearland, I think they're doing well, getting
We
the
really
appraised
are.
values.
You know, and like Chris just said, you know, what really happens a lot of time, let's say if the house appraises at $200,000 and the client's buying the house offered $220,000, they're going to come up with the extra $20,000 to get the house financed, because the finance company's only going to finance what it appraises for.
Absolutely.
So, and people are doing that every day right now in Houston.
Oh, we see it all the time. We see
Now
that.
is the time to sell your house.
Well, you know, as you mentioned right there, inventory is at an all-time low, 3.6 months worth of average inventory right there.
Right.
You know, if you put it in perspective, there are areas in California that are still in over a year, 18 months worth of inventory. That means if a home was to stop being built today, okay, we could only have enough inventory of 3.6 months.
You know, that's so true. And I read a story a couple weeks ago on a real estate website that blog that I go to, that Detroit, Michigan, you know, we all know Texas is the greatest place to live, but can you imagine this? In Detroit, Michigan, the average home up there right now, over $250,000, they have 21 months supply of inventory.
21 months. I mean, I can't even fathom that, what we got here.
That's amazing. You know, 21 months of inventory. That takes forever to sell.
If you go to Detroit, in $1 million homes, they have a 24-year supply.
Wow, that's great, man. Come to Houston. We'll sell your house for you.
The greatest state, the greatest city to be.
Well, you know, and let me tell you what we got going on here. You know, let's talk about things above and beyond that. Obviously, what we have is we have a great relocation market going on right now. Oil and gas is going extremely strong. We have a lot of up-and-coming companies also in the healthcare business, in the sciences business. A lot of growth is going on, and so we're seeing that it's fueling a lot of new individuals who are moving to Houston because of opportunities. Jobs are abundant here, and those jobs are creating opportunities for individuals to come in and to buy a new home. Gehan obviously is seeing a big benefit from that, right?
Yes.
So, you know, and obviously from a realtor perspective, we're seeing that the realtors right now, the realtors, because Rob always wants to correct me on that, by the way, and I apologize for all those.
Real tours instead of fake tours.
That is instead of fake tours right there. You know, are absolutely busy. Most of them out there are absolutely slammed right now, and that's a great thing to do. So you want to find an individual you work with. You know, we are coming up against a break again right now. Again, we want to hear from you, 800-808-5548. But stay tuned. We'll be right back.
HT wants you to meet 3 of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsak, the king of credit swing. And together, we're the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
So tune in to the really big show every Saturday at 9 a.m. beginning March 16th.
On 100.7 The Word, KKHT.
How often are you looking at buying a home, or you're looking at getting financing, and your credit's not quite there? Joe Orsak with Improve My Credit USA has always been the answer that I have suggested to all my clients. At Improve My Credit USA, they'll walk you through the process of credit repair and credit improvement. They'll help you, just like they helped me, get into a home, or at least get your credit to a level in which you can afford to get anything you want to. Go to ImproveMyCreditUSA.com today or call them at 281-914-4116. Again, that's ImproveMyCreditUSA.com. Call Joe Orsak. It's the best call you'll ever make.
Oh, the shark, babe, has such teeth, dear.
And welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show. I am Chris Kelso with Rob Cook and Joe Orsak in the house today. Boy, this has been a great show so far. We have Danny Frank here with us. Great plethora of information right there. We also have Bobbie with Gehan Homes. She's doing incredible here. And we want to hear from you. So if you're out there and you're listening right now, have a real estate question, whether it be mortgage, real estate, credit, give us a call, 800-808-5548. Good stuff going on.
And I've got to follow up with Danny was talking about. We're talking about supply of homes, and I was interested in talking with Bobbie about, you know, what is Gehan Homes doing to kind of address the demand for homes right now? Take it away.
Gehan Homes has gone through a total rebranding to meet the needs of this ever-changing market. We've changed our colors, logo, we're offering new home designs, we've revised existing home designs, and have enhanced our website greatly. Those in search of new homes visit real estate websites, builder websites, they go to Pinterest, they go to Facebook. We have upgraded our website to be more user-friendly, so those in search of a new home will find pictures of model homes, because we find that, you know, pictures are worth 1,000 words, and they can really get a good idea of how we build just by going to our website. We also have several Pinterest boards and a Facebook page.
And,
I wanted to jump in on that real quick. You know, I consider myself, like, you know, pretty darn computer savvy, and I use Facebook and LinkedIn and all that stuff. I have no idea what Pinterest is, right? I'm so out of the loop.
It's a
I'm
website
so out
where
of
you
the loop
can
on
share
Pinterest.
photos.
So how is Gehan using Pinterest? Like, you know, for the consumer out there, you know, that's saying, hey, I'm looking at buying a house and I want to know where to start. How does that look with Gehan and how they use Pinterest and some of those sources?
Well, if you go to our website, gehanhomes.com, you're going to see a little icon for Pinterest. When you click on it, this is it allows us to showcase how the game room is, you know, decorated, our stone elevations. Yeah, so we're able to show, you know, the way that we build.
You know, and that's really important. You know, one of the things that we talk about all the time, and here's one thing we haven't spoken about, and I think we talked about this off air one time, is, you know, the impact of the internet when it comes to buying and selling real estate. And we talked about this on the exit queue a little while ago. I'm a big proponent of the internet because I use it a lot, but I'm not a big proponent of what it represents whenever individuals want to use it as the only mechanism to drive forward their business, especially from a real estate perspective. I think for all of our listeners out there, you need to utilize it for what it's great for. It's great to search for information, but don't ever lose fact of the get back to basics approach, which is you still want to do business with people. People are what drive this industry. People are what drive a sale from Gehan Homes. People are what drive the real estate negotiation process when you're using a realtor. People are what drive the mortgages, such as myself, when you're trying to get financing. And people are what drive the credit side of things when you're looking for credit.
And a great comment on that is that I always talk about, you know, consumers can get the information, but they cannot get the experience. That's where the person comes in. It's a belly-to-belly business and all that. And I wanted to follow up with Bobbie on the fact, what about inventory homes? What type of inventory are you right now?
We have several available homes in all of our communities.
We have none. They're all sold out.
Well, according to the real estate market right now, absolutely, we
That's
have
about
very
right.
little inventory out there. And Danny, you want to make a comment? I saw you over there want to make a comment
I
while
was
we were
just
talking
going to say,
to
you know,
you.
when it comes to the internet traffic versus anything else, you know, face-to-face trumps everything. Get with a realtor, hire somebody to protect your rights, and find the homes you want to look at and go look at 3 or 4 or 5 and pick one and buy it. You know, it's that simple. And, you know, what we're seeing a lot right now is the fact that if you're not willing to make an offer on the house today, it's gone tomorrow.
No, I would absolutely agree because everything right now is running really fast. But again, it gets back to if the individuals are just trying to do something online, it's not always going to be their best opportunity. They need to get with an individual. They need to get with a professional in whatever respective industry it is right there.
I see we have a caller coming in. We've got, okay, they're telling me still just a minute. I thought he was there already. He's going to be there, I guess, in a second. So in lieu of that call coming in here, we had talked about, you know, the connection here with the internet. So it's something getting back to you, Bobbie. I know as the internet sales manager, how much traffic are you guys seeing? What does the impact on home sales starting with the internet look like for Gehan?
We receive anywhere from 130 to 200 online leads a month in our Houston division alone. Online sales make up about 20% of the net sales here in the Houston market.
Good night. That's a large amount. Now, let me ask you this. So if I'm a buyer, I go to your website and I'm tooling around looking at the site. What advantage do I have with actually registering on the site or getting in? Because sometimes, you know, if I'm a consumer, I'm looking at that, I'm going, they're just trying to sell me something, I don't want to register. Is there any advantage to getting in and registering on your site and signing up with you guys?
Yes. Once you register online with us, I can help you locate the right area, community, and Gehan home that best fits the way that you live. You'll be asked to fill out your name, email, and phone. The questions are optional. However, it's those questions that will help me better to assist you. And I can keep you updated with current promotions, community updates, and events.
Like in your story there, the family moving from Pittsburgh, being able to personalize that experience, find them apartments near where they were looking at, go that extra mile, shoot them links to those apartments so they can see it, all that kind of stuff. That's some of the advantage of signing up. I'm connecting those two dots there.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think we have our caller on the line now.
We do have our caller, right? That is correct. We've got Junior.
All right.
He wants to ask a question. Junior, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing very well. Thanks for listening in. Thanks for giving us a call. What questions you got this morning?
Yes, I was just, scrolling through my radio, come across you guys, and in a way, it's kind of glad that I did, because I have a question. Me and my girlfriend, we're soon to be married, and we are actually looking into buying a home. My question is, I don't believe, I want to go out and get my credit pulled by all these other realtors. Is there kind of like a one-stop shop that I can go to where they can look at my credit, see where I'm at, and find the best realtor for me?
Well,
how would I go about doing that?
Well, here's my suggestion to you, right? Because we have that question a lot. The number one fallacy is that if you run your credit by a whole bunch of different people, it's going to go way down. Now, it's true, it will go down if you do it too often. But what you want to do and what you want to start off with is, number one, you want to find the group of individuals you want to work with. You want to find the preferred realtor and your preferred mortgage relationship to work with. Okay? And then my suggestion from there is have your credit run by that mortgage company. Have them run it. Have them take a look at it right there. Also make sure that when you qualify the mortgage company you're going to work with, that they're individuals you trust, that have honesty and integrity, and that can go forward in the process with you. You have them run it once. You have them take a look at it. If it has any issues, I suggest obviously calling Improve My Credit USA, but you use and you can go through and find out what type of credit improvement is needed, if needed. If it's not needed, guess what? You have an individual that you've run that can sit down, can speak with you, can go over what options exist, what your credit looks like, what you qualify for, whether it be a conventional, FHA, VA, et cetera, and work closely with your realtor to find you at that point the home that you qualify for based upon what the credit and, more importantly, income looks like to be able to get you qualified.
I want to jump in on this too because I'm a big proponent of this, right? If your credit isn't where it needs to be, then having it pulled, doing a hard pull or a financial pull is not a good idea
Right.
because it's just going to lower what you're already dealing with. So there's a lot of advantage, and I'll have to step back and explain this, but I'm going to give the answer first, is that there's a lot of advantage in using some online consumer report services out there. We use a company called Privacy Guard. It took me a second to think of it, Privacy Guard, where for the first 14 days or 30 days, they run different offers. You can get all three of your credit reports with scores for $1, a single dollar. As long as you cancel within that first time period, that's it. Of course, they want you to stay with them and use them on a monthly basis. But here's why I suggest that. There is a difference between consumer scores and financial scores. If you pull it yourself, there's no inquiry. It's not going to ding you at all. But the scores may not be exactly what a lender are going to see. But the advantage of doing that first is that if you pull your scores there and you're come back 700s, 800s, whatever, you're going to be great. The chances of you going to a lender and having any issues credit-wise are going to be really low. However, if you pull those scores and you see, hey, I'm at 580, I'm at 600, whatever around there, at that point, I wouldn't advise going to the lender at this point. I would advise starting to work on the credit scores to get those where you need them to be before going to a lender. That way you don't risk the extra inquiry in that process. And to get
my question also would be, I mean, you hear a lot of these stories about people going to credit repair saying, oh, they can, help me get me back into the 700s and whatnot. I myself do know for a fact that my credit score ain't all that great. But how do you go about knowing who's a reputable credit repair company? I mean, you see them on the side of the roads all the time on the sign.
Yes.
It really does make you wonder, and I do know that it's very difficult to go out there and trust some of these people. And I've heard you mention Improve My Credit USA. How do they? I mean, how do you compare them to any other one that's out here on, on a picket sign? It's just very difficult for, as a consumer myself, to try to trust anyone to look up my credit, go through there, and tell me what I should do and should not do.
Well, Junior, you've done something which is really good. First and foremost, you're listening to the show and you called in. Let me tell you from an experience standpoint, and this is not something that Joe's going to talk about because obviously he'd be promoting himself. I'm going to promote him for you, actually. I have been in the industry for 12 years. I have used a lot of different credit restoration and credit repair companies. I have never been as faithful and loyal as when I found Improve My Credit USA and started using them. Let me tell you, they have performed incredible feats with my clients. Now, I will tell you this. They're not going to guarantee you're going to get a 700 credit score. No one can do that. But what they do, and this is something that I've always respected about them, is that they number one, they will accept your phone call. They will give you an honest opinion on what your credit stands today. They'll give you an honest opinion also on if you are truly a client based upon your needs that are going to be able to be successful in their program. If you are, they're going to do it. If not, they're going to tell you, now's not the time, but here's a couple suggestions you need to do. And like I said, without him tooting his own horn, I'm going to do it for him, is that, I would highly suggest you give Improve My Credit USA a call. They're not a side-of-the-road company, even though they do have an office on the side of the road, technically off of 59, right? But they're legitimate. They are a consumer-rated company. They are #1 credit company in Texas right here. So, I mean, the one thing I can tell you from a third-party testimonial is definitely give them a call. And if you need that number, by the way, it's 281-914-4116.
And I just want to mention that if you see a little bald-headed man on the side of the road pulling out credit repair signs and throwing them in his car, that's probably going to be me. Because I hate those signs.
My next question would also be, like most consumers, what if after a certain time, or what if, I do come in for an initial consultation, if I feel that maybe the services I can't afford at that time, is there any, I guess you could say, do-it-yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming up against a hard break, so I don't want to rush you. But we first of all, the consultation's always free, so you can find out exactly where you're at and what direction you need to take at no cost. And from there, we offer free solutions, inexpensive solutions, and full-blown professional services. So 281-914-4116 is how you get a hold of us, and we'll be happy to talk to you. Junior, I hope we answered your questions, buddy. We're against a hard break here, and we got to run. So we'll be right back after this break.
KKHT wants you to meet 3 of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsak, the king of credit swing. And together, we're
the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
So tune in to the Really Big Show every Saturday at 9 a.m. beginning March 16th.
On 100.7 The Word, KKHT.
Buying, selling, or refinancing your home and don't know where to start? Willowbend Mortgage is a local mortgage banker with over 20 years experience. Great rates, exceptional service, and attention to detail are a few of the great items you'll find with Willowbend Mortgage. Chris Kelso. Call Chris Kelso today, 713-256-9138, to discuss your options and opportunities. It will be the best call you've ever made. Again, call Chris at Willowbend Mortgage, 713-256-9138.
And welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Show. I'm Chris Kelso with Rob Cook and Joe Orsak. Today's topic, as we talked about, is about the buying and selling of real estate and the impact the internet has had in regards to that. And to bring in one expert in regards to SEO, we're going to bring in an individual. His name is Josh. Josh, how you doing? Josh, you there?
Yep.
Oh.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You know, one of the things that we're doing, and I know, we're talking about the impact the internet has on the buying and selling of real estate, but, there's a lot of people who are listening out there right now who are small business owners who are using the internet to buy and sell real estate, or who are realtors who are using the social media, or realtors, sorry, who are using social media in regards to their own transactions. And SEO is a very important aspect of this, especially individuals who have their own websites who want to be seen. Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
And tell people what SEO. I promise you, not everybody knows what SEO is.
That is true.
CO, that's this famous artist from Australia. I enjoy a lot of her songs.
I hear that question quite a bit, and a lot of people have, especially business owners, they have an idea of what it is, but really they don't understand the specifics and everything about it. And SEO, when it comes down to it, it's a popularity contest. Basically, on the internet, I like to call it votes. When somebody links to your site, they're basically giving you their vote. So right now, you have a lot of bloggers out there, and they say about 44% of people now get their information from blogs. And they say within the next 5 years, up about 44% of people will actually be blogging. So it's quite, it's taken quite an impact on the way users get their information nowadays. And search engine optimization is just a process of getting a website ranked on first page of Google, and it's extremely important for business owners to start embracing that part of their marketing, and that's just because that's where people really aren't looking in phone books anymore.
And one of the things, let our listeners know, why is it important to be number one in Google? What is so important that you want to be above the fold versus below the fold?
Well, I mean, there's multiple reasons. Not only does it get traffic to your website, but it also it helps you with branding. Now with Google, if you ever search for a key term or something to that effect, you'll see websites come up ranked number one on Google, and you'll even see like an image of their logo or their picture and their business information off to the side. So and they also are implementing different types of metadata, and the metadata is just that tidbits of information that you see below the link or the description of the website when you search on Google. So give people additional information about your business before they ever even click onto your website.
And and one of the things we talk about from a real estate perspective is extremely important. A lot of realtors out there actually have their own websites, and the one thing that we're always trying to do is explain to them the importance of being found. You mentioned it's a popularity contest. There are a lot of realtors out there in the industry that want to be found. A lot of them who want to be seen. And this is the ability to be able to do so by utilizing you or a company like you to be able to get this taken care of. Josh, we're going to have to go into a couple of other phone calls right here, more importantly with some of our guests we got in studio. Let us know how we can reach you if you don't mind.
Oh, sure, yeah. You can go to chrysalismsp.com, and that's www.chrysalismsp, marysampaul.com, and our phone number is 713-575-2608.
Say that phone number one more time for all those listeners out there.
713-575-2608.
Josh, thanks a lot for being on board. We appreciate you calling in today. For all those who want to reach out and touch Josh, definitely do so right there. He's really good. He gets you really good postings on the internet right there.
By the way, I'll mention that Josh is the designer and is continuing to work on, because I hit him with it at the last minute, our realestateratpack.com website. So if you want to see some of Josh's handiwork, check into realestateratpack.com over the next few weeks, because it is still evolving, and he does a great job for us, and we highly recommend him here on the Rat Pack Show.
And for all those on Facebook, we want to let you know, go out there and look up Real Estate Rat Pack on Facebook. Give us a like if you don't mind. That way we can see you when you're on board. You can ask us questions. You can do all the fun and exciting stuff out there.
That's right. If you have questions, you can either call into the show today at 800-808-5548, 800-808-5548, or you can post on our Facebook wall, facebook.com/Real Estate Rat Pack.
That is awesome. You know, in the Real Estate Rat Pack, obviously, this is our inaugural show. We appreciate all those who are listening, by the way. We also want to sort of circle back around. We've been talking about some good things out here. We obviously have Danny Frank, and we have Bobbie, and there's an additional question you want to ask Bobbie, correct?
Yes, Danny wanted me to ask a question about, Gehan. We know Bobbie's got to take off here pretty quick, so we wanted to get in a couple last questions before we lost her. Number one, how does Gehan like realtors? Do they like working with realtors? Can the customers come out to Gehan with a realtor?
We love our realtors.
Yes.
And she knows how to say it.
Yes. They are our superstars, and they have helped us together. We have brought so many customers to be future Gehan homeowners, and I encourage the realtors to register with me as well, because I can keep them informed of available homes. I can keep them informed of incentives, so that they stay informed for their buyers. And also, we have realtor events all the time, and I'd love for them to come out.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because here's something really cool for our realtors that are listening. I have a 3-hour MCE class that I teach on credit, and Gehan, which I thought was really awesome, Gehan footed the bill for the whole class. They had a great lunch out at one of their really amazing communities out in the Clear Lake area. So realtors, Rob keeps giving me the ugly eye here. I have to say that correctly. Realtors, there's definitely a reason to sign up with Gehan and stay in touch with them, because they do really awesome things like throw these complimentary MCE courses. How can they get a hold of you, Bobbie?
You can reach me at 713-443-2693, or you can email me at bbaker@gehanhomes.com, and I look forward to assisting you in your new home search.
Very cool. All right, so we'll let you run if you need to, Bobbie. I know you're going to volunteer somewhere. I'm just totally hitting you on the spot with this. Where are you headed?
Oh, can I say?
You can absolutely say.
Yeah, just say generically where are you headed.
I volunteer every Saturday at the Houston area Women's Center.
I think that's really cool.
Excellent.
Thank y'all so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Likewise, Bobbie. Thank you much for being here. You know, the show isn't over with yet. We're still going to have a lot of good conversation right now. We obviously still have Danny Frank in the studio. And, you know, Danny, I wanted to circle back around with you. Obviously, HAR and being the HAR chairman, it's very important. I mean, one, I want to thank you for being here today. I think it's extremely important to have you here. But, you know, HAR also, what are some of the things that HAR sees in the future?
Lots of home sales.
That's always a good thing.
That's always a good thing. You know, the future really looks bright in Houston. You know, there's an old song out there, the future so bright I wear shades, and in Houston we really do. You know, I expect the Houston housing market to continue to increase its volume, increase its pricing. You know, the only problem we're having in Houston is we don't have enough homes to sell. There's more buyers coming in right now than we have homes to sell. So right now, I think I had breakfast the other morning with Mayor Parker, and she said something like 85,000 new jobs this year in the first couple of months. There's just been a huge influx of people coming into Houston, and those people have places to live. You know, apartment complexes right now are running at ultra high rates.
Occupancy and rates.
The rates are high. The occupancy's high. Rental houses right now are higher per month than to buy a house. A lot of people don't realize that. I had a client I worked with a couple of weeks ago that they called me to help them lease a house, and they wanted to stay around X amount of dollars, let's say, and I could buy that same house. The house was for sale also. I ran the numbers for them, and we could buy the house and save almost $300 a month.
You know, and you're absolutely right there. I mean, a lot of stuff is going on. If you see where Houston's growth patterns are right now, there isn't an area of the city, northeast, southwest, that isn't absolutely just on fire.
So true.
You know, I mean, you go up to the Woodlands, you go out to Katy, you go down to Pearlands, you go out, even go out to the North Shore side of things. it's absolutely a very strong market that
It
we've
is.
created in here.
Yeah, and Chris, I want to bring something into this formula that we're talking about right now. You know, interest rates have been at 30-year lows.
Right.
What do you see happening in the future?
Well, you know, interest rates cannot go anywhere else but up. And I mean that in a good way. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a big proponent that interest rates eventually do have to move up, and the reason why is we have to be able to stay in a private market. But right now, again, we talked about it a bit earlier, we're in that perfect storm. That perfect storm means we have still inventory available, we've got great rates, and we have a lot of realtors that are out there available to be able to take care of you right there.
We got a caller on the line, so we want to jump to that real quick because we're running out of time on the show. So let's make sure we get our last caller in here. We have Michelle on the line, if I see the screen correctly from over here. So, Michelle, are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. Do you have a question for the Rat Pack?
Well, I just wanted to say congratulations to our new HAR Chairman, Danny Frank. We're really excited to have him at the helm this year. And Danny, you were speaking earlier about tax valuations, property valuations. Please be sure and remind people that pretty soon they'll have the opportunity to protest their taxes, and they need to remember to do that. Take a look at those notices.
Yeah, that's really true, Michelle. Thanks for calling in. You know, what a real estate agent can help you do is come up with a comparable value of your house before you go do that. And there's a lot of real estate agents out there also that are licensed arbitrators that can help you really find out, you know, if you can protest your taxes or not. And, you know, it makes perfect sense for everyone to protest their taxes every year. Why wouldn't you? It's free to do, and it's your right to tell the people what the price really is.
Right.
All right, we've got we're coming up against a hard break here at the end of the show, and we got one more caller. I don't know if we can take it real quick.
I don't think we can take him in. Unfortunately, you know, caller coming in right now, we're going to have to go ahead and take this off air if you don't mind. We are up against the show end right now. Again, I want to thank everybody who was on our show today. Danny, thank you very much for being on board. You know, Danny, if they want to reach you, how can they reach you, by the way?
You know, my cell phone number is direct at 713-569-8102, or my website's danfrankrealty.com.
And the Real Estate Rat Pack. Rob, how can we reach you?
You can reach me at 281-543-0527.
Joe?
Joe can be reached at 281-914-4116 or ImproveMyCreditUSA.com.
That is correct. And I am Chris Kelso. I can reach at 713-256-9138. For all those listening, we really appreciate you being on board today. Again, you have tuned into the Real Estate Rat Pack. Until next time, we will see you soon.
And you've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The question is, who's Frank, who's Sammy, who's Dean, and who's the other guy?
Chris is Frank,
I'm
he's
Dean.
Dean, and I'm Sammy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So tune in to the really big show every Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.7 The Word, KKHT.